Hi, welcome to my latest video, and it's East Vancouver Vista 2 Silent Edition because I didn't turn on my mic or disconnect my external mic, so there's no sound except for my narration right here. So here's the first shot, and we're on a little bridge that goes over to a park, and this is kind of between East Vancouver and downtown. There's nice little statues there. You can see the North Shore in the background. You can see the port. That's the machinery for the port. Now you're looking across to some apartment buildings. Now you're looking towards East Van. And now you're looking away from the water towards Hastings Street. Down the hill, there's cars coming up the hill. I'm shooting at a really low frame rate. I'm shooting with an 1000 ND filter. It's a bright sunny day. The 1000 ND filter is filtering a lot of the light. I have the gain set up to I think 8 dB plus. There's looking downtown over the bridge. There's the train tracks. Looking downtown. Yeah, so it's a really bright sunny day. It's July 14th. There's another shot of downtown. If you see those sails in the distance, that's the old convention center, and that's the last part of the video. I actually walk all the way over there, and you can see it that I shoot over there too. So yeah, I'm just doing a big circle, and there's the mountains again. There's the top of the bridge again. And there's that machinery for the that unloads the ships with that machinery there. Those 3 cranes. The ships come in and they go under those cranes, and then the containers come off the cranes come off the ships with those cranes, and then they get loaded onto trains and trucks. So yeah, it's it's a 35mm Olympus lens. The Letus is kind of dirty, I think, because I think there's crap in the lens. So I have to clean it all out again because it gets dirty all the time. If you just leave it alone, it'll get dirty. Some of my footage was crappy because I didn't turn the vibrating motor on. So I haven't been out in a long time. So as you can see, I forgot. There's a piece of crap you can see on the lens. It's a little hair or something. So yeah, I really have to make sure that I don't have any dust in the Letus. So yeah, there's a hot summer day, July 14th, 2020. Doing the big circle with my monopod, and I'm using my Benro panhead the first time, or my Manfrotto panhead, my new to me panhead from Manfrotto. So there again, big circle. There's the waterfront, downtown Vancouver. There's the white sails are the old convention center. I call it the old convention center because right beside the convention center, there's a brand new convention center. So Vancouver is one of those cities that has 2 convention centers for whatever reason, and they're right exactly side by side. So one wasn't good enough, so they had to build 2. So there's the skyline, the city line. Vancouver is a tiny city. You can walk through Vancouver. You can walk through the downtown of Vancouver in 20 minutes. It's that small. So there's a truck going down. I think that's Main Street. Yeah, that's Main Street. So this is Main Street. If you follow that truck, you'll head up Main Street. It's called Main Street right there. So here I walked, and I took all my gear, and I walked, and now I'm in a place called Gastown, and I'm shooting in an alley, and it's a bright sunny day, but it's dark because I'm using a 1000 ND filter. And that's why everything looks so dark. But you can see the sky is nice and blue. And it's jittery because I'm using a monopod. And I'm shooting at a low shutter speed. So there's a really nice, I like that. I really like shots like that are sort of arty shot. Like that's kind of an artistic shot. I really love that. So that's, I'm using my, my Manfrotto pan head to pan up and down with that on the monopod. And so now we're in the dark alley. It's a sunny day, but again, I'm using 1000 ND filter. So, and the brand is Irix. I think they're from Poland. And so it's an Irix 1000 ND filter from Poland. And that's on my 35 millimeter. And everything's shot wide open. I think it's a f2, something like that. 1.8 or f2. So there's the back of the building. These are really old buildings, so that looks like an East Indian place. So yeah, this is all shot on my JVC GYHM 100 3CCD. It's all shot in 1080p. I'm not sure of the frame rate. I think it's 30 frames per second. But it's a really slow shutter speed. I love art shots like that. If I make a film, there's going to be lots of art shots like that in it. Just like that. I love that. So there's the back of the restaurant. There is the alley behind Gastown, excuse me. So there's a street called Railway Street, and I think that's the street. It's called Railway Street right there. Up that alley, and you're at Railway Street. So there's an old building right there. There's the old, I think that's the old train station right dead center front. The old building on the left is the old train station. So I'm walking towards the two convention centers. As I mentioned before, there's 2 convention centers. So you can see the sails on the old convention center. And there's something called the West Coast Express train. So you can take a train and go to, I don't know where it goes. I can't remember where it goes. Maybe it goes to Chilliwack or something, I'm not sure. So there's the train, the West Coast Express. It's just sitting there. There's the train cars. That's a back alley behind Gastown. And yeah, it's a really hot day, like 20 degrees, 19 degrees. I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt. No sound again because I didn't turn my mic on. And you can see the vignetting. If you see the shadows in the corners, that's called vignetting, and that's because of the Letus does that. The Letus adapter so that I can use my vintage 35mm lenses. There's a garbage truck right there that in a minute is going to back up, and I got to get out of the way. So yeah, there we go, panning around, beautiful sky. The 1000 ND filter really is excellent for days like this, because if I didn't have that 1000 ND filter, the sky would be completely blown out. It would be like you wouldn't be able to see it. It would just be like a bright white. You wouldn't be able to see like clouds or anything, or that blue, that vivid blue. It wouldn't be vivid blue like that. So that's why 1000 ND is great. I can't remember how many stops 1000 ND is. It's something like, I can't even remember, but it's like one of the highest ND filters you can buy. I'm gonna get another ND filter, I think. Possibly I'm gonna get I think they're divided into like 8s, so like you can get a quarter ND filter, 1/4, 1/8, 32, a 64, a 128 ND, a 256, a 500 and 1000. I think that's how it goes with ND filters. So here I am. I'm all the way downtown, and that building I was telling you about a few minutes ago with the sails, this is that building. Okay, so we're looking across at the second conference center, and it's a convention center, sorry. That's the Vancouver brand new convention center, that big building straight ahead to the left there. So you can see it juts out on the water. It's really cool. I've actually worked in both of the convention centers, just doing trade shows, helping out, doing trade shows at both of these convention centers. And the new convention center, which you see in the distance, you can see the roof is jutting out there. That place is huge, and there's even a massive hall in the basement where they hold trade shows, like right in the basement. So they hold some of the fancier conventions, like the software conventions and programmer conventions, up on the upper floors, and on the lower floors they hold other trade shows. Like right in the basement there's a huge convention center where they hold other trade shows that I've been to as well. They've got full catering, like gourmet catering inside. I believe the two convention centers are also connected by a tunnel underneath, connecting them both. So you can actually, there's a walkway underneath, so you can go to both convention centers, which I've been on. I don't know if it's open to the public. So there's a view of some of the buildings downtown. There's the backside of the convention center, you can see there. Let's see. There's the front of the convention center jutting out of the water. It's huge. The rooms where they actually hold the conventions are huge rooms. They're massive, and they got really high ceilings. There's across the water, you can see to the North Shore, and there's also a port there. You can see that big yellow thing is a pile of sulfur, like there's a sulfur port there. This is the old convention center. So there's a walkway to one side of the old convention center, and that's what I'm on right now filming. So this is the old convention center, and it's the building with the white sails that I showed you in the previous video. So I'm filming downwards, and again I'm using 1000 ND filters, so everything's slightly probably darker than you would. Some things show up dark, but the sky is really nicely exposed. And I'm also using a really slow shutter speed. So yeah, there's the nice highlights of the clouds. You can see the beautiful skies rendered really nicely with that 1000 ND filter. There's some ships in the background there. If you want to get over to the other side of Vancouver, it's about there's a bus you can catch right down in town, and it'll take you across to the other side of the water there. And the buses come like every 20 minutes, and it takes you about a half an hour to get from downtown Vancouver to the other side of the mountains there. You can see on the other side, just to get over to that side, which is called the North Shore of Vancouver. So there's some plant pots. So yeah, it's a nice bright sunny day, July 14th. Now I'm walking right up to the edge there. So yeah, so that's you can see the whole convention center. You can see how the lower floor is right there. Underneath there, you can drive right down. There's loading bays under there, so you can unload and load up trucks for all of the convention centers. And yeah, so now you can see the place. See that sign that says place? That's to the left is the old convention center. So there's kind of the walkway. And I had quite a few tourists today. There's a bunch of hotels in this area as well. There you can see the place sign. There's the sails. You can actually see the sails that we were looking at before on the roof. So yeah, it's a smaller convention center. I would say that the new convention center is like probably 4 times the size inside. It's huge. So there we go. And you can see there's float planes. I don't know if you can see. That's a good shot because you can see the float planes. There's a whole bunch of piers or dock areas, and there's float planes, little float planes there, pontoon planes. And there's the North Shore. There's a really good view of the North Shore. You can see a big boat. Sometimes the big boats just park. I think they're park and they just wait to unload, or they unload and then they park. One or the other. So there's looking down the walkway. And there's some nice flowers. This camera looks amazing close up, so anything that I shoot close up looks just amazing with it. So yeah, there you can see down the walkway, the flag is waving in the air. See the beautiful flowers. There's the water. Panning across. There's the float planes. There's the new convention center. It's just massive. I think there's 3 floors, and then there's the basement. So like 3 convention. Like the top floor is for smaller convention rooms. And then I think that the first and second floor are main convention rooms, and then the basement is the main convention room as well. And then it's got catering and everything. So there's looking towards the downtown. There's the convention center itself. There's a little coffee shop in there, but I think it's all locked up right now. It's a really nice convention center too. It's a much more cozy place, the old convention center. It's not as cavernous. So, yeah, we just did a complete pan around a few times. And that's the video. Thanks for watching. And, yeah, comment or check out my other videos.